Hello, hello. Hope you are all doing well. As always, I'm going to hop on my phone, just make sure that the live stream is going through and that you guys can hear me. If you are here live with me, go ahead and grant StreamYard permission to give me your name, and then I'll be able to see who you are. Perfect. Okay, it looks like it's working. We've got sound. Awesome. So I'm going live using StreamYard. So they do require you to just give them permission to show your name. Otherwise, if you say something, it'll just show me like Facebook user or YouTube user. So go ahead and grant StreamYard permission if you're here live. Say hello. If you are watching the replay, let me know in the comments. I am streaming live right now into the Facebook community, The Profit Factor, onto my YouTube channel, also titled The Profit Factor, and onto my business page, The Chic CFO, over on Facebook. I'm going to be starting to stream these into LinkedIn. I just learned that you can do that. So it is on my list to figure out how that all works and try to start jumping on that LinkedIn bandwagon. So if you are new here, my name is Danae Wolf. I am a financial clarity coach and a profit strategist, which means I help entrepreneurs like you understand the money things in your business so that you can increase your profits and decrease your stress. So if you hang out with me over on my corner of the internet, you are going to be learning all about financial literacy and how it can not just change your business, but it can actually change your life. I am a big believer that financial literacy can literally change lives and the trajectory of families by being able to create generational wealth. And my mission is to just help spread the word of financial literacy as much as possible. So today we are talking about how to know if it's time for you to outsource your bookkeeping. So I know that when they do, I don't know who this is. Somebody just said they like my hair. Thank you. This is called the I'm running super late and don't have time to dry it. So I did shower for you guys, but I didn't dry my hair. So thank you. It just says Facebook user, so I can't tell who that is. If you guys are listening to this over on my podcast on Apple Podcasts, I am streaming live into my Facebook group, and somebody just left in the comments that they liked my hair. So in case you're on the podcast and you're like, what is she doing? I was responding to a comment. So today's topic is how to know if you're ready to outsource your bookkeeping. Now, if you've been hanging out with me over the last couple of weeks, we've had quite a lot of talk around here about how money isn't just the only resource, right? Time is an essential resource. In fact, it's our biggest resource because guess what? We can't ever make more time. We can always make more money, but we can't make more time. So we've had a lot of emphasis over the last couple of weeks in our trainings on how to really maximize our time and make sure that we're running our companies as efficiently as possible because time is money. I'm sure you guys have all heard that. And whenever you read any type of an entrepreneurial poll, like a questionnaire, and they ask entrepreneurs, what is something in your business you wish you could outsource? Legit, guys, in the top three, always, in every survey I've read, it's bookkeeping. All right, it's bookkeeping. And I've told you guys before, when you think about that entrepreneurial spirit, right, we're creatives. So we just inherently, from being creative like that, we use the other side of our brain, right? And we're not utilizing, typically for most of us, I'm being a little stereotypical here, that we're not using that analytical side of the brain, which is what a bookkeeper would be using if they're operating in their zone of genius. Now, if you're one of those entrepreneurs who's like, I love numbers, I geek out on that stuff, bookkeeping is my thing, fine, that's your zone of genius. But you guys know I want you operating the majority of the work that you're doing in your business. I want it where you're operating in your zone of genius. So if you are spending more time as a CBO, which I'm using to give you a title of Chief Bookkeeping Officer. Okay, that's what I mean when I say CBO. So if you're spending more time as a CBO than a CEO, you really need a reality check. And the truth is, if you're not a bookkeeper, right, if that's not your zone of genius, then QuickBooks is not that quick, right? It takes you guys quite a lot of time. So if you are finding that you're spending a lot of time as a CBO, as that Chief Bookkeeping Officer, instead of the CEO of your business, you really need to start considering it. And you need to be paying attention to these 5 signs that it's time to outsource your bookkeeping. So the first indication that you might want to start exploring the idea of hiring someone is, number one, it's taking up too much of your time. Time is money. We need to be spending our time wisely when it comes to our companies. It is not a smart business decision for you to be doing something in your company that can easily be outsourced to someone who is able to do it better, right? So you want to take a look at all of the things that you spend your time on in your company. And I want you to just write them down, and I want you to circle the ones that are in your zone of genius, the ones that make you happy, light you up, you're passionate about, and cannot be outsourced. For me, right, in my company, I can't outsource these live trainings, right? I couldn't have somebody on my team do this because that would make no sense, right? You guys are coming to learn from me. This is what lights me up. This is what I'm passionate about. It wouldn't make sense for me to pull somebody off my team and have them do this. But guess what? All of the graphics that I use to promote these live trainings, I don't need to do that. That's outsourced, right? So you want to sit down, write the list of all the things you do in your business, and circle the ones that are actually in your zone of genius. And you want to start giving those to other people, delegating them out, the items that are not in your zone of genius. And for 99% of you, bookkeeping is not going to be one of those things. It's going to take up too much of your time because it's not your zone of genius and you don't know how to do it properly and efficiently. The second indication that it's time to outsource your bookkeeping. So number one is that it's taking up too much time. Number two is if you're trying to scale your business. So if you're in a situation where maybe you are steadily doing 50,000 a month in revenue and you are in a place where you're like, I am ready to scale to the next level. I'm ready to take this up to 60,000, 70,000, 80,000. You are in this mindset that you're ready to scale. You feel you've built the foundation. You feel that you have the proper team in place and you're ready to roll. You've done the legwork. You are positioned to scale. If that is you, I strongly urge you to seek out the services of a bookkeeper. Because what I'm going to tell you is, while scaling is an exciting time in a company, it's also one of the riskiest times. I call them growing pains. But a lot of times what we see when we scale is we're growing pretty quickly. And these growing pains can truly make or break you. I've seen businesses scale too quickly. I've seen them scale the wrong way and actually end up in a way worse position. So what that means is you could be doing 50,000 in revenue a month, scale to 75, and actually profit less because you didn't scale the right way. So in order to avoid these growing pains, when you're sitting there laying the foundation to prepare for scaling, because most of you, when you think, okay, I'm ready to scale, I'm ready to kick this up a notch, you put a team in place. So if you're a cleaning company, maybe you hire extra cleaners, right? Maybe you hired some extra office staff. But the component that gets left out is who's going to be my CBO, right? Who's that chief bookkeeping officer? Who is handling that piece of it? Because the data, the numbers, the financial reports will tell you the smart way to scale. Don't forget that component. So again, recapping, number one sign, it's time to outsource your bookkeeping if it's taking too much time. Number two, if you are trying to scale your business. Now let's move on to number three. If you are behind on your bookkeeping, for the love of everything you hold sacred, please outsource your bookkeeping. Guys, I have been doing this a very long time. And I can tell you cleanups, which is what we call it when somebody's behind on bookkeeping, are a bear. Okay. They are a bear. And I've even toyed around with the idea of not even doing them in my business anymore because they're such a pain in the ass. So if I'm telling you, as someone who is a seasoned bookkeeper, someone who is a CFO, a chief financial officer for my clients, if I'm telling you this is my zone of genius and this is a pain in the ass, it's probably not a good idea for you to take it on if bookkeeping is not in your zone of genius. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm not saying you can't DIY it, because you can. You're entrepreneurs, right? I believe that entrepreneurial spirit we can do anything. We really can when we put our mind to it. But just because we can do something doesn't mean we should. All right. So I don't want you guys to get the impression from today that I'm saying you can't do bookkeeping because it's not in your zone of genius. No, of course you guys can do it. And I think there's times when you absolutely should. My course, Profit Perfect, teaches you how to be your own bookkeeping. And I believe there's a time and place for that. And many of you are the ideal candidate for that. But some of you are not. And if these 5 signs pertain to you, you should really consider outsourcing. So if you're behind on your bookkeeping, if you're like, my QuickBooks has not been updated in 6 months, if you're like, I don't have QuickBooks at all, I've never done it at all, right? I strongly encourage you to outsource to a bookkeeper. And let me just add that it doesn't need to be so black and white, right? Maybe you can't afford to have an ongoing service each month, which is what I provide to my clients. We do monthly CFO services where we're taking care of your books so you don't have to do anything. We're completing the bookkeeping and we're providing you with analysis. But if you can't afford that yet, contact somebody like myself and say, what would it be for a one-time job? Like, just help me make sure things are set up properly, right? Now, sign number 4 that it's time to outsource your bookkeeping is if you are making decisions in your business without consulting your numbers. Now, remember, I just said you guys can absolutely DIY your bookkeeping. I believe that. I believe it's possible. Check out Profit Perfect if you're interested in that. But you have to make sure you're consistent with it. You actually complete the work and then you utilize the data, because you should be consulting the numbers before you make any type of decision in your business. So when I hear entrepreneurs say, I want to hire an operations manager, what should I pay them? Well, look at your books. Your books will tell you exactly what you can pay them. Numbers don't lie. They tell the story of your business. So if you consult the data, you will be able to find the answers to your questions. If you are currently not doing that, if you are an entrepreneur making decisions in your company blindly without saying, okay, what does the data tell me? What are the numbers telling me? If you're not using the data to make these decisions, I strongly encourage you to consider outsourcing your bookkeeping. And Number 5, okay, the 5th sign that you need to consider outsourcing your bookkeeping is if you are scared of an IRS audit. Now, let me be really specific by what I mean by number 5 here, because you're probably like, of course I'm scared of an IRS audit. We're all scared of an IRS audit. But there's different ways of being scared, okay? Me, I'm scared of an IRS audit because I've been through them and I know how tedious it is and what a time suck it's going to be. And frankly, it's going to be a huge pain in my ass, thorn in my side. That's why I'm scared to have one, because I don't feel like dealing with it. I am not scared that at the end of the audit, I'm going to be in trouble. Nope, not scared of that at all, because I know my stuff is legit. My I's are dotted, my T's are crossed. So if you are scared of an IRS audit because you just don't want to deal with it, okay, that doesn't mean that you need to hire a bookkeeper. But if you're scared to get audited because you think they're going to find some shit, you need to consider outsourcing your bookkeeping. So let's review these 5 signs, all right? Number 1, if you are spending way too much time as the Chief Bookkeeping Officer, the CBO in your business, you're spending more time doing that than you are as the CEO, you need to consider outsourcing. The time that you are spending trying to figure out QuickBooks can be better spent in your zone of genius to help grow and scale your business. The second sign is if you're trying to scale your business. I don't want you to get hurt by growing pains. So I want you to consider bringing a bookkeeper on your team if you are in scale mode. The third sign is if you're behind on your bookkeeping. A cleanup job is not something that an inexperienced bookkeeper should be taking on. Fourth sign is if you are making decisions in your business right now without consulting your numbers. I want you to get to a place where you let the numbers tell you what to do. Your numbers don't lie. Data is there to help us make strategic decisions. And I want to make sure that when you make any type of operational decision in your company, you are reviewing the data. And the 5th sign that it is time to outsource your bookkeeping is if you're scared of an IRS audit. Not scared in the sense that you just don't want to deal with it because it's going to be a huge pain in the butt. Scared in the sense that you don't think things are done properly and you're nervous of what the outcome of the audit is going to be. So if you feel that any of those are how you feel, if any of those 5 items apply to you, I want you to consider outsourcing your bookkeeping. Right now, 'tis the season. We signed about 5 new clients in the last 2 weeks, okay? This is the time that everyone is saying, oh shit, it's almost tax time. I've got to get my books in order. So I really want you to take a look at your situation and say, do I need to consider outsourcing this? Because you guys know it's got to get done, right? We are going to be filing taxes in just a few short months. Some of y'all haven't been doing your books at all this year. So you have quite a lot of work to do. And remember, that's just the one component. That's the component of making sure that we're tax compliant. That's how we make Uncle Sam happy. But the completely separate piece of the importance of bookkeeping is making sure that you have actual data from your business so that you can utilize that information to make strategic decisions. So I want to make the IRS happy. I want to keep Uncle Sam happy. But more importantly, I want to help you make more money. And that comes from strategy, which comes from analyzing your numbers. And how do we get those numbers? Through bookkeeping. So if this is you, if this is where you are in your business, please shoot me a message. I would love to speak with you. I am at the Chic CFO, THECHIC CFO on Instagram. My Facebook group is the Profit Factor. And you can also just reach out to me right on Facebook Messenger on my personal profile, Denai Wolfe, DenaiWolfe. This is my zone of genius, guys. This is what I was put on this earth to do in regards to my profession. All right. I was called to this. It literally lights me up to help an entrepreneur gain financial clarity and scale their profits to the next level. Okay. You guys are capable of so much more than you realize in your business, and I can help you get to that next level. So reach out if any of these 5 signs, if you felt like, hey, that sounds a lot like me, if any of them resonated with you, reach out. I would love to talk and hopefully be able to work with you. So I hope you got some great insight today, and enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll catch you right back here next Wednesday for another free live training. Bye, guys.